it's Karina, and today I'm going to be doing my how I failed my driving test, like story time. On my 16th birthday haul, I told you guys that I failed my driving test, my first try, and I said that I was going to do a story time once I passed my driving test to like tell you guys how I failed my first try. And this isn't supposed to be like a negative video, it's just supposed to like help you guys like if you're gonna take your driving test, just so you know like what to do like not to fail. And I'll probably give you guys a couple of tips like on when I passed. So first, I passed. Took my test 2 weeks and 1 day after I failed. So that was like, I took it November 29th, my second try, and I passed. I think I missed 6 or 7 points in total. What I missed points on the most was I slowed down by businesses, but it was because there was a school there and it was like 8 o'clock when I took my test. So I figured I should slow down 25 because it's a school zone, but supposedly I guess I wasn't supposed to. And that's why I lost points, was I went too slow in a business area or something, but it was by the schools. I don't even know. That lady was, I think she just wanted to take points off. I think I was doing it fine. But other than that, I think that's what I missed points on. And then I didn't use my blinker one time when I went out from the curb. That was the time I passed. So, yeah, but I passed that time and I did fine. Right now I'm driving a Chrysler Cirrus. It is a 98, I believe, but my dad just bought me a car today. It's actually his car, but he says I'm going to drive it for like 6 months and then he'll drive it after that and give me a different car. I don't even know, but yeah, I just got a Jeep Cherokee 98, I think, today, and it had like really low miles or something. But yeah, I thought I would do a story time now, finally, because I didn't want to do a story time when I had failed, because then it'd just be like a negative video. So, starting off, the day I failed, it was the first Monday after my 16th birthday, so I think it was like 2 days after I turned 16. And I'm like a really independent person. I wanted to be like on my own like the day I turned 16. My test was at 8:30 in the morning, so that was my first mistake. It was really trafficy and there was a lot of like commotion. Also, I didn't sleep at all the night before because I was so nervous. And let me tell you guys, just don't be nervous, because if you fail, it just means you're not ready. It's fine. Like it just means you are not ready to drive a car. It just means you need some more practice. So don't feel bad if you fail, it's okay. So my test is at 8:30 in the morning. And so I went down to the DMV, you know, with my dad down there, and it was kind of far away from my house because I was told that was the easier one. I think it was honestly the same. I was the first one out of that day to take my test too, so I didn't have to wait in a line, but I waited like in the line, but there was no line in front of me, you know. So I took my test and waited for the lady, and the lady, first a guy came and he was like, papers. So I gave my papers, I looked at them, and then a lady walked out, and then she was like talking to him, and supposedly I guess she wanted to take over and have her take my test. And that's right there, I got like a weird feeling. I don't even know why, I just got like a weird feeling, and I was like, great. And this girl looked like a little like prissy, like she was like and she was wearing like little heels, and she was like, I'm fab, I don't even know, she was weird. She had me do my hand signals and sound my horn and do all that kind of stuff. And then I was also driving a car I had never driven before. The car I wanted to drive, its back taillight was out, and we didn't realize that until the night before I took my test. And also we couldn't find the registration papers, I don't even know. So I took my sister's car that she had just gotten, and I was not used to this car at all. I was used to driving a SUV. My mom has a Suburban something, and it's like really long and really high up and big, and that's the car I was used to driving. So going down to like a really tiny Toyota, it was like really tiny, like this car is so tiny. So I took my test in that, and I had never driven the car. I drove it the night before, and that was it. I'd never driven it before that. So that was another mistake. I probably shouldn't have done that, like really bad. And so I took my test in that, and it was not good. Like a lot of things are different in that car that I just wasn't used to, and I don't recommend taking a test in the car that you've never driven before, especially when you've only been driving for 6 months or something. So take the test in the car you know, and even if someone says, oh, it's too big, you know, just take the test in whatever car you're comfortable driving and you've been driving before, because it'll help, trust me. So I took my test in that green car. It was like the little green Toyota thingy, my sister's car. And the signals and everything, that was good. And then there was like this curb, and I remember my driving instructor telling me, don't hit that curb, it's extra thick, and so many of our students hit it, so make sure not to hit that curb. So I was really trying not to hit that curb. I was like focusing. It was like this tiny little pathway you gotta go through, and there's this like big curb. It's like an extended curb. It's not like a sidewalk, and then there's like that painted part, and there's an extended painted part off of the curb. So she's like, don't hit that curb. And I'm like, okay, I got you. I got you. So we're going to call the driving instructor lady Patricia, because it's Patricia. Patricia's like, she was like, turn right out there. She kind of like mumbled. Or she's like, turn up ahead. And I'm like, okay. And she like mumbled it. So I was like, so you want me to turn right up ahead? And she's like, yeah. And I said that. And then right as I said that, there's like all these, there's like probably like 20 people crowded outside the DMV. And they're like on the road I'm driving by, which has had this thick curb. And so I'm like making sure I don't hit the curb. I didn't hit the curb. That's not what failed me at all. And I was making sure any people, and they're like talking and like pointing at me because they're like, there's a car, and you know. And so they all piled up on the curb, and I was like making sure not to hit them because like there's a bunch of pedestrians there. I don't want to hit the pedestrians. Like, no, that's really bad. Don't hit a pedestrian on your driving test. Number one. I didn't hit a pedestrian. Don't worry. And so I was driving like past the curb, and this is like, I'm still in the whole DMV parking lot, but like it's a big shopping center with like a bunch of other places, you know, but like the part you drive out of is like behind. So I'm like going, and then there's a stop sign, but it's like half covered by the building. So like here's the stop sign, and here's a building, and the stop sign's like this, but it's like this for me, so I only see like half of it sticking out, right? So I'm just like, okay. And I didn't see this stop sign. So I didn't even acknowledge like it was there, because number one, there's a billion pedestrians, like literally like 20 pedestrians just like crowded around right where that stop sign is, right? And right outside that little building. And it's like on the corner of a building. And so I didn't see the stop sign. And so I don't even know. I was going slow anyway, but I guess I didn't come to like any like complete stop. And then she was like, didn't say anything at first. And then we kept going. And there's a part where you turn out, and there's a part you can turn and continue looking for like parking spots or whatever you're doing, right? And so she was like, turn right. So I turned really quick right before the turn that I would normally make, you know? And then I was like, okay. And then I was kept going, and I was going like back to where I was originally going, like originally came out of or something. And then there was some guy pulling out. I let him go. I was like really courteous to all the pedestrians. I was like doing my good thing. I still didn't acknowledge that I failed. And then as I was going back, and she was like, turn left. And I was like, did I fail? And she's like, we'll talk about this in a moment. And I'm like, okay. So I kept going, went back to where I'd just gone with all the crazy pedestrians. At this point, they just all stared at me, because it was just like, saw you a minute ago, this girl probably failed. And they all probably knew I failed. And I was like, great. Just great. So I went back, I parked in the end of driving test parking space. So Patricia was like, so today you failed. And I was like, okay. And she was like, so you didn't acknowledge the traffic, or like she just like, you didn't acknowledge the traffic law, you ran the stop sign back there, I just wanted to point it out. And I'm like, okay. And then she was like, and so you can go reschedule your test like in the building. And I'm like, okay. And then she was like, yeah. So I didn't cry, and I wasn't like mad. I was like, whatever, it's just one little milestone I'm gonna have to get over again. So I knew what to like expect the next time, which was like nice. And the next time I went 2 weeks and 1 day later, my mom took me. I took my mom's Suburban. It's like this huge car, you know. And I took my test in that, and I had the same lady. I got Patricia again. I was like, Patricia, get out of my car, get out of my car, get out of my car. And I was like, she was my driving instructor again. So, yeah, that was kind of awkward. I took my mom's SUV. It was great. I passed. It was all good. I really didn't do much wrong. So whatever you do when you take your driving test, don't run a stop sign, don't hit a curb, don't hit a pedestrian. And those were what I just, you know. And I don't know if you're supposed to slow down or not when it was like 8 o'clock in the morning out of school zone. I think I was supposed to. Because I think if I was speeding or going like, she probably would have been marking points off anyway. But yeah, that's my advice for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this story time. It's not supposed to be like upsetting. It's kind of just supposed to like let you guys know what's going to happen. But if you have any like questions, you can like comment down below. I don't know if you will or not, honestly. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. My vlog channel will also be linked in the description, so make sure to go check that out. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Bye.